This is my third Fun Spelling Facts for Grown-Ups video, and today we're going to talk about why is it we say past tense ed, the suffix, three different ways. Sometimes it sounds like a t, sometimes it sounds like a d, sometimes it sounds id or id, depending on your accent. Now, the reason is, have a look at these lists of words here. All of these words end with a voiceless sound. So, p, t, k, th, s, sh, ch. When you say those in isolation, no voice, yeah? They've got pairs. All of these consonants are in pairs, voiced and voiceless. So these are identical consonants, but they've got voice. So that's b. So you can hear p and b are both lip sounds. T and d are both made behind your teeth on the alveolar ridge. K and g are velar sounds in the back of your mouth. Those are your stop consonants. And then we have fricatives, friction consonants. We have two, and th are actually two separate, as in thigh and thy. They are separate sounds, but it's not really worth teaching them as separate sounds. They're not that common. Should have dropped out of the language, but we got them from the Vikings. And then f and v, s and z, sh and z. You can hear those are pairs. This one is more common in French words, z, beige, rouge, but yeah, treasure, pleasure, those kind of words have got z in it. It's more often, it's only used at the end of words. We don't have it at the beginning, except maybe if you say gendarme or je m'appelle. And then it's only used at the end or the middle of words, this sound, which is why maybe it doesn't have its own letter. And then ch and j, these are combination sounds. That one, ch, is actually made up of t and sh, which is why kids will sometimes hear a t and ch, because there is one. And also d and j combine to make j. So that's why kids get that, drum. They'll write it with a J, drum, because they're very close together in your mouth. Then, so these are voiceless. These ones are voiced, and these are also voiced. M, n, ng in the back. These are in the same spots as b, p, t, d, k, g. So lips. Behind your teeth, in the back of your mouth, and then this one, all, is made on the alveolar ridge, same location as t, d, and z, but those are stops. These ones are fricatives, and this one is a liquid, so the sound comes out the sides of your tongue. And it doesn't have a pair. These ones don't have pairs, and then the other consonants are not used at word endings, so not relevant to this suffixing rule. Unless you're an American, you say at the end of words. Sorry about that, Americans. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about my accent. And but yeah, if you do say at the end of words, it would go in this group here. And so if I add ed to jump, a process called coarticulation happens, which is the mouth is a mushy place and sounds smushed together. So when this meets this voiceless sound, it becomes voiceless. Jumped. It's really an alveolar stop, the same as these sounds, t and d. It gets devoiced, basically. And then plant id, we can't say a t and then straight away say another d or t. So we have to have a vowel in the middle. That's why we have that id. And the same thing for land id. Land id has the same suffix as this one because you've got to have a vowel. And then after a vowel, this becomes voiced. And then the rest of these, checked, frothed, sniffed, messed, wished, fetched, they're all voiceless. So it sounds like a t after those words. When you make rub with a double B, see my last video if you don't know why, into rubbed, you make it, this is voiced, so this becomes voice. Rubbed, skip landed. Tugged, you'd have a double there, of course. Smoothed, lived, that a vowel knocks off a final E, and buzzed, rouged, and charged, and the same for these ones. Hummed with a double, hummed, fanned, banged, filled. They are all, it sounds like a d because the last sound of the word it's joining onto is voiced, and so it's voiced. So that's why we have three ways to say ed. And the same process happens for a couple of the other inflectional suffixes. We have 8 inflectional suffixes in English, which are part of the grammar of the language. So past tense, or past participle you can often make with an ed. He has landed. Ing present participle, and this is an old past participle form. So like take, taken. We don't say I taked, or little kids say I taked somebody to the shop. But taken, we say. This is an older suffix that's used for past participle. And then this is plural, as in jumps, like I did 10 jumps at the gym or something. Plants, yeah, it's a plural, but it's also a third person suffix. So if I say he jumps, or it plants, or something like that, it could be a verb suffix, because in English we still have a final S that we add when we say he jumps, or she swims, or it flies. We put an S at the end, or a Z sound. So for that one, jumps, plants, if you've got verbs, checks, sounds like a S, yeah? When we put it on here, rubs, it sounds like a Z, same thing. Coarticulation, this is voiced, this becomes voiced. And that's the same thing that happens with dog, dogs, cat, cats, with S, but dog, dogs, because G is voiced. Tug, tugs, tugboats, it's 3 tugboats, tugs, this is voiced, this becomes voiced. And smooths, and lives, and buzz. Now, when we get to these ones, mess, buzz, these last 6 here, we use the es suffix, which I have handily dropped on the floor. Mess is, because you can't just say another s at the end of mess. You wouldn't hear it. Mess. How do you know if that's mess or messes? So we have a vowel. So it's the same thing as with the past tense. Mess is, and buzz is, and wish is. That could be a noun. I made 3 wishes, or it could be she wishes. Rouges, she rouges my cheeks, and fetches and charges, like that. These ones, hums, but fans, bangs, they're all voiced. So that sounds like a zzz when we put it onto these words, fills. And just for interest, the other inflectional suffixes are possessive s, as in the cat's pyjamas, or the dog's pyjamas. And again, that's voiced or voiceless, depending on what it's attached to. And as in big, bigger, and est as in big, biggest. And don't mix up that with the that's the person that does the action, the agent noun suffix. So as in swim, swimmer, that's a different suffix, but it looks the same. It's the same 2 letters, but it adds a different meaning to a word. So I hope that's helpful, and thanks for watching.